Hello and welcome to this video where I will be reacting to the 9 wildcard entries for Ukraine's Vidbir 2024. I have been trying to learn the Ukrainian alphabet over the past a couple of months, and I can read it if I really focus, and then the words are in large part similar to Polish. They're not always the same words, sometimes they're false friends. I don't know how much effort I can be giving right now. As you can maybe hear, I am a tiny bit ill. I am filming this on the same day that it was announced that Aiko will be representing Czechia, and on the same day that these songs were released. But I don't know when I'll be uploading it, so that's maybe why it's uploaded a few days later. I'm curious to see what Carpet Man is bringing by himself. He was obviously part of Salush Orchestra. The rest of the people I have no idea about personally, but I have heard that people are very impressed with these songs for them being the wildcard entries, and Ukraine is generally very strong at Eurovision. Every single time that they participate they do get through to the grand final. They've never stayed in the semi-finals, so obviously Ukraine is very strong, and I'm happy to see that a lot of people are excited about the wildcard songs as well. As ever with these larger groupings that aren't the national final itself, I will only react to them off camera, write stuff down in my notebook, and then give you my notes basically at the end. Tell you who my favourite is, tell you who my maybe top 5 are, maybe the whole top 9, I don't know, we'll have to see. And yeah, I guess I'll see you now once I've listened to all of the 9 wildcard songs. Okay, so I've listened to all of the songs now. Robin has as well. I'm not sure she's got much to say. I understand why people were impressed. I'm also impressed considering these are just the wildcards and only one of them will even go through to Vidbir itself. That's very impressive. Maybe there were some running order victims. I can definitely see that the first half are higher up in my rankings than the second half. So maybe I was losing concentration or wasn't as impressed by the songs anymore. I don't know. I will go through all 9. I think they all deserve a little chance to shine, even if anyone goes through to Vidbir. But to be honest, I think I'd be alright with basically any of them. Someone else could win and go to Eurovision, not one of these 9. But in 9th place, I've unfortunately got Teslenko with Lights Go Up. I did check out by the end of the song. It was also the last song that I listened to because I listened to them in the order they put them on the website, which I presume is alphabetical by the artist name. I didn't particularly like the lyrics. They're a bit cringy and don't say much in my opinion, and the style of music isn't mine either. It's still a very high quality song, and definitely higher than the quality of songs we've had up till now in Malta's and Czechia's semi-finals on average, but for me unfortunately it's in the last place of these wildcards. In the 8th spot I've got Supernova by Shepa. It's a little bit slower, and then it does also get some kind of EDM beat thing. I think if this did have a staging it would definitely involve wind machines. Overall it is a little bit bland, but I think this would have definitely benefited from some kind of live presentation to see if all of those impressive vocal stunts are actually pulled off. It would have definitely got a lot more points from me, but as it stands these studio versions maybe even gave extra points to other songs, but it definitely did not benefit this one. This one would definitely have gotten more points if all of those vocal stunts had been pulled off live. Still a nice catchy song though, and they're all very impressive songs to be honest. In the 7th spot I've got Queen by Krylata. It's a little bit like flamenco. There's one bilingual chorus. It's a little bit of a confusing song, and I'm not really a fan of the English chorus, but the music is very powerful and the verses are good. I wasn't a fan of the English chorus though, hence why it goes in this spot, because I said all of these songs are very powerful, very strong contenders. Surprised that they're only wild cards, so this one goes in 7th place. In 6th spot I've got Marika from Stasia. Robert is currently destroying my Eurovision scoreboard result, but that's okay, I've got it written down elsewhere as well. It's a bit yelly, but in a good way. It's that kind of singing. I don't really know what it's called, but it's done in Ukraine. It's also done in Poland, I know, like Tulia Fire of Love had it in 2019. I don't know what it's called. I should be a better Slav and find out, but I don't know. It's very good. I think there's a nature theme from what I gathered. I don't know much Ukrainian as I said, but I do know a little bit, and it sounds a bit like a lullaby. But obviously it does work. Like Ukraine has done it before with, I guess, Go Away kind of has that kind of yelly style of singing as well that I should find out what it's called in Shum and in Solove, so it could work, but the other songs were to me better today. Again, could be a running order victim. In 5th place I've got Sered Vitri from Parfeniuk, which means something like among the wind. It's funky. There's a little bit of a disco influence, I think, and then there's a saxophone at the end. I definitely really enjoyed it. It's almost a little bit too overproduced for me, but it's very, very good. As I said, all these songs are so good. I'm very impressed that these are just the Wildcards. And I think the only lyric that I actually gathered apart from the chorusy bits is maybe that "two is a crowd." Not sure if I got that quite right, but if I did, I'll be very impressed. Then we go to the song in my 4th spot, which is Sadness from Karyotype. I guess Karyotype maybe could be pronounced in English, I don't know. It's a little bit 2014 YouTube ukulele at the start, but it's really it's endearing. And then it does switch to a rocky sort of indie kind of sound. It's definitely a mishmash of sounds by the end. Does feel slightly dated, which is why it's not any higher up. It's a happy sounding song, but then it's called Sadness, and I don't quite get the meaning. I don't know what the line about levitation was. I'm generally very confused with the song. Maybe I'd need another listen to understand it, or another 10. I'm gonna leave it alone for now, but I did like the sound. I don't have to understand the meaning to like the sound. That's kind of what music is about. Even though this one was in English, so I should have understood it, but I did not. And then in my top 3, in 3rd spot, I've got Little Angels by Svoja, or Svoja. This one, I feel like talking about it is just not allowed, and it should be a number 1. The lyrics are so powerful, and using the kids choir is also so powerful. The whole song is pretty painful, and it's a clear message, obviously. It's a little bit too repetitive for me, and the only reason why it's not my number 1 is because definitely lyrically it's my number 1, though I don't know if that's the right move for Ukraine. I can't speak on that. They need to know whether they want to be happy in the face of adversity, or if they want to put it on stage. That's not for me to decide, but it's also musically not quite my thing. It's a very simple beat with just very powerful words over it, or a pretty simple beat at least. I don't know, very simple, maybe an overstatement. And then my top 2 are actually the first 2 songs. In the 2nd spot I have got An Endless Fight by Carpetman, again similar theme to Little Angel. I'm going to move over so you can see my little angel, Robin. Yeah, this is not what I expected at all from Carpetman. I really thought he was going to go down a completely different route, but I guess he defies my expectations. First of all, I was expecting some kind of rap or very traditional thing because of Kalush Orchestra. And then second of all, I was expecting, okay, maybe an acoustic guitar thing because of the guitar in the photo, but it was just none of that. Is this what dark pop is? I imagine so, maybe. It reminds me of Imagine Dragons. I've never heard Carpetman sing before, obviously. He was only doing the breakdancing as far as I'm aware in Kalush Orchestra. I wonder if he can sing it live. I imagine so, because Ukraine is very thorough in the choices, but I'm very curious to see that if we ever do see Endless Fight live. And in my 1st spot, which you probably have worked out, 9 songs isn't so many to keep track of, is Anka's Palala. I mean, it hit me, it was the first one. I'm pretty impressed. It's almost the norm for Ukraine now, this kind of sound with the flute thing, which I keep also forgetting the name of and not learning, unfortunately, but it works. I mean, it works. It could definitely have a fun staging. There's also kind of a nature theme thing going on. There's a rap at some point, which also comes out of the blue and has worked for Ukraine before. It's ethnic and modern at the same time. I would go with this one for the national final. I also obviously always like songs being in the national language. From what I gather, the chorus goes, it's burning, it's falling, it's burning, or whatever the pronoun should be, but burning, falling, burning. And then something until the morning, which Google Translate did have a bit of a field day with and wanted to tell me something about mutton or ram or Aries, but until the morning from what I gather. So that could have really cool visuals for the staging, and yeah, I'm the most impressed with this song, which was the first one, but genuinely such a strong set of songs for this only being the Wildcards. I'm almost speechless. I did manage to talk about all of these songs, but they're so powerful, and all of them would be even at Eurovision a good representation for Ukraine. I think some of the ones lower down on my list, I don't know if with weak staging they might falter in the semi-finals and be Ukraine's first non-qualification, but Ukraine is just amazing at staging, so I'm not really concerned about that. I reckon Ukraine is going through to the final basically no matter what for one more year, because even the wildcards are so good. So I think the Ukrainian broadcaster has nothing to worry about in terms of Eurovision, at least. One less thing to worry about, because they have enough. So that is my top 9 for the wildcards of Vidbir 2024. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. I really do hope that you enjoyed it, that you got something out of it. I will see you in the next one, whenever that shows up in your feed. Bye! To je mój kit Robin. I think that's how you say that's my cat Robin in Ukrainian, but that's about the level I'm at, so I couldn't really understand the songs without the help of Google Translate.